Hello everyone, Tina Gale back, and today I have a sketch that is done by Susan Stringfellow on Sketch Savvy, and it was for a Scraptastic Club challenge. And so I just picked up some papers. I have some that were left on my desk that were scraps, and some other pieces that are the end of the collections that I was just trying to use. And so all of the paper for this layout is from about 4 different manufacturers, and I'll try to tell you as I go along who they are. But I have to warn you, this layout, everything that could go wrong went wrong, and it's actually quite comical how many mistakes were made and just how many restarts. And so I'm hoping that the making of the video is better than the making of the layout. Okay, so this paper here is from Crepe Paper, I believe. It's one of the Valentine lines. And then I have some from Echo Park Creative Agenda, Maggie Holmes Open Book, Pebbles. Actually, I think that one was from Pebbles. Crepe Paper Flea Market. And so on the sketch, it just had different layers behind the photo. So here's the first mistake you see. I had it cut the banner, and then it's like, that's really too wide, and so then I trimmed it down. Well, I had already cut the dovetails, and so then I had to trim it off so that I could get the banner cuts done correctly. So there you go, mistake number 1 that's been caught. Now I'm just cutting a smaller strip for another banner to go behind that one. And I had intentions of it going all the way to the other side of the paper, but as you can tell, it was cut too short, so it's just going up behind the photos. And really, this design is just where you have something behind and then all of the banners underneath, just to weight it down. And I chose the dark navy and white diagonal stripe to go behind the photo, because I thought it was a good contrast against the dark blue photo. It kind of kept your eye going across, and so this is a very kind of linear design, working across horizontal of the page. I'm not sure in the end, well, yeah, I guess in the end it still kind of keeps that line, that horizontal line of design. And so I kind of have my pictures and everything laid out the way that I want, and I'm just pulling some of the embellishments that I had laid out that were potential candidates for the page and trying to see what I can go with it. Now I'll tell you, I have one of these transparencies from the Chamel line, and this was another one of what I had planned, and then it didn't work out once I put it on the page. I had seen a layout, and I think it was on YouTube, I cannot remember now, but they had taken one of the transparencies like this, and they had sewn around 3 sides of it to make it like a pocket. So my intentions were that that transparency was going to go between the 2 photos. I was going to sew on it and then stick that little journaling card down into it. Well, when I put my photos on there, I didn't have room for it. I couldn't have sewed the pocket for the journaling card. I would have been sewing through my photos or behind it, where then you wouldn't be seeing the stitching, so it just didn't work. And so then I pulled it over on top of that photo, and I actually really liked it over there because there's nothing really in that photo. This was the curtain at the Broadway production of Mary Poppins, and so it just has that skyline scene at the bottom. And so the word lovely is down there in the heart. So I thought it was pretty perfect for that photo. So it worked out okay. I was just kind of excited to try sewing on the transparency and using it a new way for me, like I had seen someone else did. And I wish I could remember who it was. If I think about it, or if I find it, I will put it in the information below so that you can be sure to check out their video, because it was really nice how they used it. Okay, and so the little journaling card was just a cut apart from one of my papers, and it just has the numbers 1 through 6, so I thought that would make a great little journaling spot, just to list the things that I enjoy about spending time with my kids. They both love Broadway productions, and it was not something that I was interested in, but they've pulled me in, and so now I've been to, oh, I don't know, three or four maybe, but really enjoy them. And so this was the first time that all three of us went together. Usually I take one child or the other child because of scheduling conflicts. So this was a really fun evening for us. Okay, so when I adhered the transparency, I just put a little bit of adhesive behind the heart so that it wouldn't show. And that's more than enough to keep it on that page. And once it's in the page protector, it's not going to go anywhere anyways. But I do put some other embellishments on the top that will kind of help hold it in its place. And I have adhesive on the journaling card, and so it's help holding all of that into place as well. Okay, so my title, I just used these little navy round epoxy alphabets, and so I was able to pull the navy back into the top part of this layout so that I could create kind of that triangle points of interest. And so the photo and my title and then that blue and white diagonal stripe are kind of my triangles that I'm working with. And then the thickers are chipboard thickers. They're called Sunrise, and it's just a pink. It's a real pretty font. And so my daughter had kind of a maroon type shirt on, so I just kind of played with the pink. And I had some leftover flowers from the Amy Tan bits. And since the one paper had the flowers and stuff, I'm just kind of playing with it. And I just cut a small strip of paper to go underneath the title on sugar, just to help ground that so those words are not just floating up in space. And then I just had some dark enamel dots. They're a really dark navy, but they almost look black. And then I'll add some pink ones. And then this little brad was left over. I think it's from I want to say it's from the Maggie Holmes open book. But it's just in the navy blue. Okay, another mistake. I'm sitting here embellishing this whole page, and then when I put that brad in, my page moves, and it freaks me out. I had not even glued down the entire base of the photos. So, real quickly, I put some adhesive on and tucked that up underneath where I had been building everything. Like I said, I was laughing by the end of this layout of all the little mistakes and things that I had made, but the best one is still coming up. So let's see. And I had some wood enamel hearts that I just kind of put around in my 3 areas of embellishments as well. What else can I tell you? Okay, so you're going to see, I go to trim the bottom off this layout, and I wished I'd left it on, because when I did that, I start looking at it thinking, something's not quite right, and so I go to measure it. My background paper is not a full sheet of paper. It is not a full 12 by 12, which is why I couldn't fit a lot on there. So then I go looking for paper to try to figure out how am I going to fix this. So I really liked the navy blue, so I ended up finding a piece of it, and I'm just going to cut 2 strips of it and adhere to the back to make out. But you'll see, I'm just stumped. I don't have any paper that's full 12 by 12 to stick it on, which is what I normally would do. I would just build it up on top of that, but I didn't have any. So I just go back to embellishing. It's like, well, I'll figure out how to make this a 12 by 12 page, because my navy was not a full 12 by 12 sheet, so I had to piece it together. And that little brad was just an odd one sitting. So here I pull the blue, and it's like, yeah, I really, really like that. So I just decide to just cut 2 strips off, and I'm just going to piece it together. Which the way I kind of figure out, it would have been easier had you just taken a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock or pattern paper that you don't like and just build it on top of it. But I didn't want to take the time. This layout had already taken too much time, so I just laid it on my mat and measured up with my grids on my mat to adhere the 2 pieces onto it so that I could call this layout done. So this is where I finally stop and say I've had enough. I'm happy with it. So here are some still shots. I hope you enjoyed the layout. Be sure to leave me some comments if you've had any similar experiences of a layout that's gone wrong. Although I really do like it now that it's finished, but be sure to leave me some comments. And thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time. Bye.